Hello, what's going on? Uh, I'm recording this very early in the morning. It's not quite 6 o'clock yet, but to record these for the day, I usually have to record them pretty early in the morning. So hopefully I'm making sense. I think I will. And I know these words pretty well. These vocabulary words for the next quiz. Hopefully you've already taken the first quiz with Baby Killer Unicorn. So you're ready for these words. You might even be making one of those vocabulary sheets as I speak. So, what I want to do is go through the vocabulary words you will see for our next short story. Our next short story is called Red Roses. For some reason, as I'm preparing these lessons, I want to call it Red Apples. So, it's called Red Roses. You might hear me call it Red Apples. I don't know why. There are no apples in the short story. There are, however, roses. I don't know why I want to do that, but let's take a look at these. And I think they might be a little bit easier than our first set of words. Not sure. Some of them are difficult. There are 13. So right there, we had 16 last time, 13 this time. Again, I'm just going to go right to Quizlet. We'll go through them. We'll talk about how each one is pronounced. We'll talk about the definition, and then I will use a couple examples for each one. So let me make this a little bigger. The first one we got is universal. You can see it right there. Universal is called universal. Uni, uni. Think of that every time you see that, think of one, like a uniform. Everybody who's working at McDonald's, has to wear a uniform and they pretty much all look the same. If you're in the military, they all wear uniforms. They're pretty much the same. So universal, you can see there's a picture of the world there. The definition is it can be found all over. Most people feel the same way. So a universal idea or a universal thought is that middle school is pretty tough. Universal. In this unit that we will be starting, there is going to be a lot of talk of rites of passage. I don't really want to get into that too much today, but just so you hear, like, a rite of passage is something that you have to experience on your way to adulthood or on your way to maturity. So some of these rites of passage in the United States are almost universal, like getting your driver's license. Like the majority of people in the United States will eventually get their driver's license. That is kind of like a rite of passage right there. On the way to becoming an adult, most people get their driver's license. It's a pretty universal idea. So I hope that one helps. I mean, you can think of the universe one thing, but we're talking about the adjective here, universal. Most people feel the same way. Um, I would imagine, I don't think everybody, but I would imagine universally, people think this whole COVID thing, lockdowns, pretty much is garbage, pretty much trash. Most people hate that. I do know a couple people who are kind of introverts, maybe a little bit like myself, and didn't mind, for a short period of time not being able to leave the house. But I think universally, most people agree that, come on, let's get past this COVID thing. Hopefully, we can get life back to normal. Number two, this can be tricky because it's actually two different words. You could say attribute or you can say attribute. So, two different definitions, two different words. But with our definition here, to give credit to someone for something, you would say attribute. So, the Emmys were last night. I don't even know if you know what that is. I mean, I'm so old, and I think it is an old person's thing, but the Emmys are music awards given out for like the best music of 2020, I think. I think that's how it works. And they will often like attribute good music to the Emmy. So if you win an Emmy, you might they might say, "Hey, we attribute this Emmy to," I don't even know who you guys listen to anymore. Um, Billie Eilish, maybe. I think she's pretty popular. I've heard a couple of her songs. She's pretty good. So you could attribute maybe this new wave of music where young people are actually picking up guitars again, writing really good songs. You could attribute that to her. Like you could give her credit for that, probably. I would think. I think she's one of the first to come back and actually make real music. That's the old man in me talking. We don't have all these like drum machines and stuff. So we might attribute that to her. Oh, what? The phone? So much controversy, right, with history. But I think the phone, can we still attribute that to Alexander Graham Bell? Or maybe he's been canceled. I don't know. But at one time when I was growing up, Alexander Graham Bell, he was attributed with making the first phone. But then I even think there's a guy in France who says he made the first phone. Obviously, he's passed away by now. But yeah. So giving credit to someone. Oh, what if you did a really great homework assignment and I take a look at that? Like, hey, this is really good. You might say, well, you can attribute that to my dad or my mom. Yeah, they helped me out. They pretty much did it for me. Wait, what? So attribute, to give credit for something. The next one, gratifying. Oh, look at the definition right there. Pleasing, satisfying. See that person? It looks like they're really happy. They're on the top of a mountain. So, I don't know, there's only water in this mug right here, but maybe, maybe you, I don't know. I hope you're not a coffee drinker at your age, but maybe you are. Maybe you need that jolt of caffeine to get started in the morning. Hope you don't. But old people like me, this is not coffee. This is just water, right? I said that, right? It's early in the morning, but that first cup of coffee to some people might be very gratifying, pleasing. You like it quite a bit. I'm hoping for you, you did really well on your last vocabulary quiz. That could be really gratifying if you get a really good grade. You're like, yeah, I did it. Pat yourself on the back. Gratifying. Think of anything that makes you happy. You can also say that, it's pretty gratifying. I bet, going back to those rites of passage, when and if you get your driver's license, I hope you do. I think most people will. Once you get that little piece of paper that says you are able to drive in the United States, it probably will be pretty gratifying. Next one is notable. Notable, you can see this. Deserving of attention, outstanding. And the picture says important, important, important. So, Alexander Graham Bell. Let's go back to that guy. I think he invented the phone. If he did, he'd be pretty notable. I mean, everybody just about has a phone in their pocket. That's pretty notable. We'd probably give that guy attention, I think. Alexander Graham Bell. The Grammys last night, I'm sure there were a lot of notable people on stage. I know Cedric the Entertainer was the host. I only know that because during the football game I was watching, there was a lot of commercials for the Emmys. So he's a notable guy. I think he has a is it The Neighborhood? I think he's in a TV show. He's been in a couple movies. He's a notable guy. Some people think he's pretty outstanding. I've laughed at a few of his jokes. So anybody that's like, you should recognize them. That's who in today? Who's an actor today that I'm getting so old? Who won the Academy Award? Can't remember. I'm going to blame it on COVID. But anybody who wins an award for being in a movie or a TV show, you would think notable. Wait, hang on a second. It's early in the morning, right? The Emmys are for TV. Yeah, the Grammys. Grammys are for music. Hey, boy. But anyways, Grammys are for TV. Oscars are for movies. I'm all mixed up. Grammys, music. Oscars, movies, Emmys, TV. If you win one of those awards, you're probably notable. All right, the next one. Let's stop talking about awards. Get them all mixed up. The next one is really pretty hard to say because there are so many syllables. Standoffishness. Standoffishness. I don't hear this form of the word that often. It is in our short story, which is why I put it exactly like it's in the short story. But most of the time, you could hear that the person was standoffish. Standoffish. So that's the adjective. You could describe somebody as being standoffish. Standoffishness is the noun, and you can see it's somewhat cold and unfriendly. So, maybe I know I'm like this when I'm in a new situation. I'm not the type of person to just go around saying hi to everybody. I might be a little bit nervous, kind of stand in the corner and, think of the word like right at the beginning, it's stand off. Right at the beginning, stand off. So those people, the way I remember this, they might stand off to the side. You can kind of see this picture, this guy with his arms crossed. So standoffishness, it can be cold and unfriendly. But sometimes, it's just the person's shy. So we don't know exactly why, but who knows? Maybe this dog does not seem happy with this guy. Can't quite tell with her. But he definitely the body language there, arms crossed, he's totally turned away from, I think, maybe his family. So we could say the dad is showing a bit of standoffishness in this picture. Standoffishness, somewhat cold, unfriendly, but again, could be just shy. When you walk into a room of a whole bunch of new people you don't know, and you kind of stand in the corner, you might be standoffish, but it just could be because you're shy. So, but people might think, "Oh wow, what's up with them?" But doesn't mean you're cold and unfriendly. Standoffishness, though. Hopefully, not very fun to say. Hard to say, I think. The next one, lopsided, with one side lower or smaller than the other. So we could, this is a leaning tower of Pisa in Italy. And I think you could describe this as lopsided. It's leaning one way. Another thing, because I like ice cream, but one time I went to Fielder's Choice. It was early in the summer. I think it was right at the end of the last school year. I was by myself. I went to Fielder's Choice and I got an ice cream cone. And when I got it, it was definitely lopsided. It was leaning towards one side. I was like, ooh, I need to eat this very quickly. No problem there. I like eating ice cream quickly. But it basically tumbled all the way over and landed in my lap. Yeah, luckily it was at the end of the school day. I could go home and, put my pants in the washer, but it would have been an embarrassing day if I had to walk around with ice cream. Excuse me, I got a cough. Ice cream cone. I got a cough button, by the way. Ice cream cone all on my pants. That'd be right in my lap. That would have been not good. Let me take a sip of water here. Did you hear that? I can just shut this off if I have to cough. You won't hear anything. I coughed. Yeah, lopsided. Let's say, a plane. A plane, you don't want your plane to be lopsided. Let's say you're in a little plane and there's too much weight on one side. Yeah, they might ask some people to go to the other side to balance it out. You don't want it lopsided. Hope that helps there. Fluted, tall, narrow shape designed for a smooth flow of liquid. I'm only limited to so many pictures here. They are going to be talking about, I believe, a vase for the red roses, fluted, but this kind of looks like a vase, maybe. But this we would call this a fluted glass because it's wider at the top and more narrow at the bottom. So you can see this tall, narrow shape designed for smooth flow of liquid. A fluted vase you might have, a fluted glass you might have. maybe a fluted straw. So tall, narrow shape designed to let water flow through easily. A funnel. This kind of looks like a funnel too. Fluted, fluted. Oh, the next one. This one's not too bad. I don't think. Quiver. You can see this dog is quivering. Tremble or shake with slight rapid motion. It's going to be getting cold pretty soon. Yeah. Recess. Hey, bring your jackets. Bring your jackets when it's cold. Just want to keep them here because we go out. We go out. I think it's if it's above 20. I think in elementary school it's even lower, but if it's 20 or above, we go out. 20 is pretty cold. So sometimes I'm quivering. And I see people every recess, right? Every year at recess, they're next to the door where we go in, where it's all shady and it's even colder and they're quivering. Like, bring your jacket, stand out in the sun. You don't have to quiver in the corner. I hope that helps for quiver. That one's not too bad. The next one, persistent. It's a great adjective to know. Not giving up or stopping. Again, I have only so many pictures here. And what I've noticed is how many more do we got? I like a variety of pictures of people's skin color, and it is mostly people who are white, which is not fine for me. Like I like a little bit of a variety, but most, and I think they give me like 4 or 5 pictures from Google, but and I try to you know get a little more diversity into these pictures, so I do apologize. But this is a mouse, so it's not a person. Never give up. So if you are persistent, you don't ever give up. So I hope when you're doing your homework, you're persistent. You know, you take a break. Certainly take a break, but don't give up. Persistent. Oh, so you'll notice those people who win those awards, the Oscars, the Emmys, those people are persistent. You think it's easy. I used to think it's easy, but a lot of hard work usually goes into winning those awards. Yeah, so persistent. If you're persistent, you don't give up. Milestones. This is almost like rites of passage. So in your life, I'm hoping you will have many milestones. And you can see these are major accomplishments within each area of life. So you can see this little baby might need a diaper change. This diaper looks like it's a little saggy, but this little baby, it looks like they've just started walking. So that's a major milestone. You go from crawling to walking. That's huge. I'm hoping that, high school graduation, most of you, not all, but most of you will get to your high school graduation. That would be a major milestone in your life. Yeah, getting your first job. Maybe you've had that already. So if some of you are like 14, I think you can start working. So that could be a major milestone, that first paycheck. Then you can see how much the government takes out of your pay. Milestone, major accomplishment in your life. All right. Next one, nonfiction narrative. You can see the definition right there. Tells the true story of events the writer or someone else has experienced. So let's break those two words down. Remember, fiction means fake. Fiction means fake. If it's not fake, then it's real. So that's how I think of nonfiction. So nonfiction, not fake, therefore it's real. Narrative just tells a story. That's all a narrative is. It tells a story. So by the end of this unit, you will be, hopefully, if you want credit, that's what we'll be working towards, is you writing a nonfiction narrative. I don't think this is anything new. I think most English teachers in elementary school, after that first trimester, I think that's the goal, is to write a nonfiction narrative. So we'll definitely be able to talk about some grammar with all that stuff, but you'll be writing a true story that either you or someone else has experienced. And you can see picture of Anne Frank. We'll talk a little bit about her in the third trimester when we cover the Holocaust. almost went to striding, but we got to do clenched first. Clenched. My my fist is clenched and my jaw is clenched right here. Hang on, can you see me? Let me make it a little bit bigger here. Clenched jaw right here. Clenched fist. All right, so let's take a look at the definition. What does it say for clenched? Oops. There we go. Closed or squeezed together tightly. And you can see here's a fist. Hey, and most of you, you've probably noticed a lot of times, and I don't know why I do it, but I just do it. It's just like, yeah, give a clench fist, give a little shake of the fist like this. We got this. You can do this. A lot of times in the hallway, I'll do that. Or if someone says, "Hey, can I use the bathroom?" Like, yeah, go for it. I don't usually say yes or no. Try to make it go for it. Clench fist. It might mean just like power, like yeah, or it might mean you're mad, clenched. Sometimes you have to look at the person and see what they mean there. But clenched, yeah, just what else can we use besides body parts? If someone has a clenched wallet, or a clenched purse, mostly a purse, like and it's actually called, I think it's called a clench at the top, where if a purse opens with a kind of a little snapping thing, that's a clench. So a clench can be a noun. It's something that keeps things tight together so they don't fall out. Um, but then you can also have like if somebody has a clenched wallet, it means they're cheap. They don't spend a lot of money. Nothing wrong with that. And the last one, striding. It's a great verb. You could use walking. Hey, they walked into the classroom. Or for like even better word choice, and the author uses this, and I wanted to mention it, striding, walking very quickly with long steps. A lot of times if you stride into a classroom, it might mean you have confidence, striding. Could also mean that you're late for something, but striding, it's such a better word than walking. The author does not use that. Striding, it just gives you a nice mental picture. Here you can see long strides. It can also be a noun. So he has some long strides right here. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. We good? Maybe while I was giving all these definitions, you were writing down your vocabulary sheet. That would have been amazing. One less assignment you have to do. Again, if you have any questions about this, let me know. You know where to find me. Until then, see you later. Adios, amigos.